Hi, my name's Laura Sutherland and I'm the founder and director of Aura. I'm a chartered PR practitioner based in Glasgow and I work across the UK and also internationally at times as well. I'm talking to you today about using public relations as a strategic management tool to underline social purpose of business, protect reputation, raise awareness and ultimately engage your target audience. Public relations has changed hugely in the last 10 years. We have more opportunities than ever through new channels, new software and new ways of engaging and talking to talking with our target audience. And it's really important that there's a two-way conversation and it's not just you broadcasting stuff for the sake of it. So what we have to do is very compelling, it's very valuable to the audience you're trying to reach, and it's something they're interested in, and it's something that they will take on board, it's maybe something they'll share with other people, and it's something that you can then use to then have further conversations with them and make them loyal to your brand. The first thing that you'll have as a business is a business plan. And within that, you'll have your business goals, what it is you're looking to achieve as a business. What we would look to do is to take those goals and say, okay, how can we then set goals for PR and for communication to make sure that we're supporting those business goals? So that's the first thing that you would do, setting the goals. So raise awareness of something, a certain product or service, increase sales by X amount, fleshing it out and being fairly prescriptive, but not too prescriptive that things can't have a bit of flexibility. The next thing you look to do is to develop a strategy which sees PR go from here to here. So what it is you're trying to achieve and how you're actually then going to do that. So, for example, some people think that strategies are 1,000 pages long. They don't need to be. A strategy is very, very simple. It's top line, how you're going to go from A to B. The tactical element of it is where more detail comes in, and that's the how you're actually going to execute it, how you're actually going to achieve going from here to here. So you don't need to spend too much time worrying about what a strategy might look like. It's simply how you're going to achieve those objectives. So, for example, the first thing I would do would be to do some research. Research and planning phase is really, really important, and it actually is one of the most time-consuming processes to kick things off. But once you've done your research, you'll then be able to inform the strategy that you're writing. So the research will be around who your audience is, where they hang out, how they make buying decisions, what they care about, what they value. There's a huge thing just now, particularly with millennials, that they have to find a social purpose within a brand and really get that to be able to start buying from them, buying their products and services. So the more you can understand your audience and what they want from you, the more you'll be able to talk in their language and engage with them at their level. And that's super important. Okay, so we have defined our audience by age, location, wants, likes, cares, passions, and all the rest of it. So let's start looking at how we're then going to say, right, we've got our strategy for how we're going to go about doing the overall PR and communication. We know who our audience is and what they want. So how are we then going to plug that strategy with all the different tactics? My advice would be to you to go and have a look at the PISO model, which is paid, earned, shared and owned media. Now the PISO model looks at those 4 different areas and how they overlap, but also how they meet in the middle to have influence. And the influence part of it is when you can start to influence people's buying behaviours, influence people's opinions, and influence people's thoughts on your brand and what you're doing within your business and organisation. So look at the PISO model, have a look, you can Google it, there's a nice graphic there that will show you in nice colours. So by using the PISO model, you also demonstrate a return on investment, which is really, really important. Just by using one element of that model alone, yes, you can achieve something, but together it's much, much stronger and you can achieve much better impact. Paid examples might be advertising, online advertising, Facebook advertising, paid for influencer engagement, or the earned might be along the lines of guest blogging. It might be some editorial in a magazine or a newspaper. Your shared content will be stuff that you share, and also people that share your content as well. And your owned content is where there's a huge amount of scope to start developing, owning your own narrative and telling your own story in a really powerful and compelling way. So by looking at all that, you have every opportunity from face-to-face events, influencer engagement, blog writing. You've got so much opportunity, but you need to make sure that what you're doing actually is having an impact. So you need to put in key performance indicators for all that activity to make sure it's working. Okay, so the next thing you'd start to do is start to execute. When you're executing, it's really, really important that you're monitoring what's going on. So for example, if you're paying to boost a post or doing a Facebook advert, you can turn that on and turn that off. The same with search engine optimization, pay per clicks, you can turn that on and turn that off when it's needed. Or if you find it's not working, you can turn it off, you can change what you're doing and then put it back on again. So it's important that you monitor what you're doing to make sure that it's working, and you're monitoring it by looking at those key performance indicators and seeing if you're hitting the mark. Okay, so one of the most important things that we do in public relations is evaluate. We have to evaluate the impact that any activity has on a business or organisation. And the impact only comes once you've gone through your research, your key messages, your tactical elements of it, all the outputs of blogs, videos, emails, all those different things. And then you'll have an outcome from all that activity. So the outcome might be that as a result of somebody, you've sent out an email, you've had 50% open rate, and the outcome of that is 50% open rate and X amount of links clicked. That's good. But what's the actual impact of that? Have they then gone through to your website to buy something? Have they then gone through to register interest in something? It's the impact that we're really, really looking for. It's all very well doing all this stuff and reaching X amount of people and whatever else, but we need to actually find out what the impact on the business is. And that is the most important thing. So now you'll understand when I was talking about key performance indicators and setting goals, that whilst at the end we're measuring and evaluating, we've actually started to do that at the beginning rather than just at the end. Some people just leave it to the end and they can't measure anything because they've not set any specific goals for what they want to achieve. Okay, I'm going to leave you with some top tips. The first is research. The more research you do, the more information and data you get. The more information data you get, the more insight driven your strategy will be. So the more time you spend researching, the more information you'll have to inform your strategy, and the more likely your strategy is to succeed. That's one massive element of what we do. It is lots of tools like Facebook Insights and Google Analytics. All these different types of things give us that input, and it's so important to use it. The next thing would be that when you're working through your strategy and you're developing all your tactical element of your actual plan of how you're going to deliver it, don't be too strict as to what happens and when it happens. There needs to be a little bit of fluidity to it, because things change and you have to react, or news hits and you seek an opportunity from that you might. I suppose the final tip would be to have fun when you're doing it. The work that I do, while some of it is very serious, a lot of the work that I do is a lot of fun, and who I work with, I have a lot of fun with as well. And I think that's really, really important, because whilst we're building brands and we're building the bottom line, it's really important to remember that we're all human beings and that we all need to have a bit of fun when we're working, at the same time as actually working hard and achieving some really good results. So thanks for listening to my short video for Businesswomen Scotland. You can find my contact details down here. And yeah, if you've got any issues, you want to chat anything further, give me a shout.